Hi guys, today I hope you're all doing well. It is a great day to cook, so let's see what I am cooking. So today I am cooking saburo, which is a Japanese dish. It's essentially herb meat on rice, and you can put an egg on top of it too. So what I am going to do is I am going to start by adding 2 cups of rice to my Instant Pot, or you can follow your package instructions, followed by 6 cups of water if you're doing it in your Instant Pot, or again follow the package instructions. My rice, by the way, is jasmine rice, and it's just one of the easier ones to cook. I am going to give that a quick stir so nothing sticks together, and then I am going to set it on pressure cook for about 5 minutes, and I'll show you what to do next. So to a pan, I have put in 1 pound of ground turkey. If you're feeding more people, you can always do 2 pounds, but just make sure to double the sauce. And I am just going to cook this until it is nice and browned. I might have to put a lid on that so it can steam cook, because mine happens to be frozen or partly frozen right now, so I'll just let that steam for about 5 to 10 minutes. While the turkey goes, let me show you what your seasonings are. So I have half a teaspoon of ground ginger, salt, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground pepper, and about 1 tablespoon of sugar. And by the way, since ground turkey is so dry, you do want to add a tablespoon or 2 of oil to help it get along. While I wait for the turkey to cook, I am simply just going to slice up my herbs. And it doesn't have to be too fine, but if you're not a huge fan of one or the other, like cilantro, you can always replace with parsley. And if you're not a big fan of green onion, I would just do like a leek if you're sensitive to onions, because they're generally good when it comes to not affecting you. And I'm just going to give that a rough chop, and then we'll take a look at our turkey. So it looks like my turkey is starting to cook now, which is a good sign, means it's nice and defrosted. And then I'll just let this go until it is fully cooked through. And I am just going to start breaking it apart into smaller pieces, and just continue doing that until it's mostly broken up. If you're not a fan of ground turkey, you can also use ground beef or ground chicken or even ground pork. And now that my turkey is fully cooked through, I am just going to add in my seasonings. Give that a quick stir to let that toast and develop its flavor, of course. And this is just if you're not a huge fan of ginger or any of the add-ins I'm adding in. It'll just help the ginger be And if you're not a huge fan of ginger, you can always do fresh. It's a bit less intense, but you can also adjust by adding more sugar and sweetening it up a bit. Now that the spices have toasted, I am going to add in about 1/4 cup of soy sauce, and I'm going to stir that in and let that cook for a few seconds here. And now, to ensure that you got your seasoning right, you do need to taste this. It's very important. Mine's perfect. And now I am just going to crack about 5 eggs into a bowl, and I'm going to add that to our turkey and kind of cook it in the turkey juice and everything. And I'll see you back here in a second. Now adding in my eggs, and I am just going to let that cook until the eggs are nice and scrambly and cooked through. At this point, I am also going to add in my herbs while the eggs start to cook. You can also, if you don't like scrambled eggs, you can also take the meat out, top it with the herbs, and you can do like a sunny side up or a fried egg. That's perfectly fine too. And now once the eggs have almost cooked, turned off the heat, and you're just gonna let it sit for a couple more seconds to finish cooking. And then we're just going to remove it, and that is as easy as saburo is. It is so fast that I'm literally waiting on my rice, which never happens. So I guess while the rice continues to cook and I wait for that, I am just going to give this a nice little taste test with everything combined and see if it needs any seasoning. Which it doesn't. Let me show you how good this looks. And I should point out that the technical name for this when you order it is saburo donburi. I'm not sure how they would officially pronounce that in Japanese, but that's roughly what it is, and it's so good. Our rice is 1 minute away from cooking, so what I am going to do is I'm going to release the steam from the Instant Pot, and then I'm going to put the lid askew after it finishes releasing the steam, and I am going to let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Get ready for it. And now that my rice is done, I am simply going to try and make this fancy for ya. And I'm going to pack down the rice into a bowl. So what I am trying to do is get a nice dome of rice. Oh my gosh, I did it. That's so exciting. And then I am just going to carefully place this around my rice. And it's as easy as that. Look how good that looks, that's amazing. And now to try it out. So I am just gonna break off a piece of that rice, get a bit of that meat, and yum. This is so good and so herbaceous. All I can say is if you want to try out this dish, I highly recommend you do. If you like herbs like cilantro and green onion and rice and just seasoned meat with ginger and other stuff, it is just so simple to make. And I went in for a second bite, so you know that means it's good, right? Plus, it took me the amount of time it took me to cook the rice, which is about 20 minutes, maybe 25, if I do it in my Instant Pot. And it is just that quick. It's like literally a 20 to 25 minute meal. So when you're really hungry and just need something quick, this is the meal for you to try out. And it is just, oh, I can't rave about how good it is. Anyway, with that craziness being done, I want to thank you for joining me here today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and I hope you give it a try out. And until next time, a banana. Have a great day.